Welcome to the Planet MicroCap Showcase Vegas 2023. I'm your host, Robert Kraft, and I'm really excited to introduce to you a virtual presentation for our conference. Doing a virtual presentation today is Adam Michaels, Chairman and CEO of MamaMancini's. It's a publicly traded company. The symbol is MMMB on NASDAQ. Adam, take it away.
Great. Thank you, Robert. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here today and with all of you. I am incredibly excited about this opportunity. I am relatively new to MamaMancini's. I've been here now going on about 8 months. Still feel incredibly excited about the opportunity. And I really wanted to leave you with 3 things today. The first one is I think we're in a really special place. So the macro tailwinds around consumers looking for clean, fresh, easy to prepare meals, exactly where we are in the deli space. The second thing I hope to leave you with is we're pretty special. This is a differentiated story. There really is a Dan Mancini. I get to hang out with him every week. You get to see him on QVC or helping with consumers. Something really special, differentiated. Our consumers understand it and our buyers understand it. And then the third and the last one, and I guess the relatively new one, is we now have a really clear, compelling, consistent strategy that I think you're going to be pretty excited about and excited to share with you. So those are the 3 things I really want to leave you with today. Also, of course, a little bit extra, very excited announcing earnings yesterday and hope you're happy to see some of those numbers, and the best is yet to come. So first, always my favorite forward-looking statement, most exciting slide in the document. There's more information on our website if you're interested. So MamaMancini's, what is MamaMancini's? So starting as this authentic Italian heritage business, we are now truly looking to become the leading one-stop shop deli solution provider. Amazing tailwinds, which we'll talk about today around what the consumer's looking for, what our customers, the buyers are looking for, and what I think is a very exciting opportunity around what we already have, what we've become now with the 2 recent acquisitions, and even more exciting where we're going. A couple things to note on the right-hand side, just a little bit of a summary. One that I want to point out, about 45% of our shares are held by insiders. Me as one. You've seen publicly that I've used my own funds to buy on the open market. What this means is that our investors and the rest of the leadership team and our board are completely aligned, and I think that's something that's pretty special. Obviously, also really nice to see the new numbers that we came out with yesterday. Incredibly proud of what we're doing from our margin story. Incredible growth, sequential growth from Q3, and substantial growth from the first half of this year. So feel really great with where we're going. So let's go through this journey, these 3 things that I really want to leave you with. So the first one I spoke to you about are these macro trends and tailwinds for us. And there's really 2 things that are happening. If you see on the left-hand side, consumers are changing. Consumers are looking for fresher, cleaner eating. Consumers continue to be time constrained. All of these things are where MamaMancini's is helping with better ingredients, better food that could be prepared literally in just a few minutes. So from a consumer perspective, we're exactly riding those trends. From the customer perspective, from the retailer perspective, I think we're equally meeting those needs. So one of the things, unfortunately, post-COVID that's continuing on is the lack of labor. What that means is we have these new products that we're able to offer our customers with little to no work at all. Literally, they get a case of our product, and the only thing they're doing is they're taking out one of those 6 containers, and they're putting all 6 onto the shelf. We're doing all the work for them. That has really unlocked a lot of opportunities for this fresh, prepared meals that in the past, they had to have a whole kitchen, a whole commissary before. Now it's something that we can help them with from a labor perspective. So you're seeing some of those 2 things. Some more on the macro trends, and just to make sure we're all on the same page, if you close your eyes and think about, pick your favorite store, whether it be the Costco's of the world or the Publix of the world or the Stop and Shops, Albertsons, Ahold, We're in all of them. The deli is behind the glass, right? All those fresh prepared foods behind the glass. Think of the hot bar. Think of the salad bar. Think of the grab and go section. Think of the prepared food section. All of these are areas that you would find our MamaMancini's products. So a huge, huge market, $40 billion plus market in the deli. In our space, the prepared foods, $25 billion, no market leader today. And that creates a huge opening for us. The other thing that's happening is everyone is sort of has their niche. What that means is that it's creating a lot of work for the buyers. The buyers have to call 25, 30 different companies to fill out their macaroni salad and their beef and their sausage and their sandwiches and our soups and their olives. We actually do all of that at once. That's one phone call. And that's why in part, I believe we're winning today. So huge, huge category, growing faster than the center aisle, exactly where we want to be. So I told you the first thing around the macro trends. The second one, why this is a differentiated story. So really is a Dan Mancini, really special to spend time with him. The need for quality. So you think of, our famous meatballs, which is just a small piece of our business today now, but think of our meatballs. It's literally 6 ingredients: ground beef, imported pecorino cheese. Think of the good stuff: breadcrumbs, onions, parsley, whole eggs. 6 ingredients. Actually, salt and pepper. Those are spices. That's it. That is literally all you're eating. That's what makes our products so special. Really wonderful to see, expanding the product line, but leveraging it and building off that authentic Italian heritage into non-Italian products to become that one-stop shop. Dan's literally on QVC every week. Dan's literally the guy that's responding. All of our consumer correspondence, that's what's really special. We bring Dan to key buyer meetings, key customer meetings, but it's something really wonderful and something that it resonates with the buyers and our consumers. The third is a strategy. And I mentioned to you earlier, this need for a really clear, compelling, consistent strategy. And I think possible we haven't had that in the past. Working with the board, I love the board that we have. We've added 2 new members to the board. It's a wonderful partnership that we have, and we're all aligned. We're all pulling the wagon together, and the vision is to become this one-stop shop deli solution. So again, I guess I like closing my eyes. If you think about the deli, think about behind the glass. You have all of your proteins. We do that today. We have our meatballs. We have the sausage and peppers. We have the chicken. You have salads, right? We have the green salads. We have the pasta salad. We have the mayo salads and different things there. Grains and pastas, we have those as well, whether it be Mediterranean farro, Israeli couscous, cranberry and wild rice. We have all of those things today. Olives, another area. We bought a company called Olive Branch. That's a nice growing part of the business. And then sandwiches. We have wraps, all different variety of wraps, paninis. I have, you're supposed to love all your children equally. My new favorite product is we have this Nashville hot chicken panini, and it is just out of this world. So we have all those things already. And you could imagine filling up little by little that entire deli case. But there are things that we don't have today that are growing. Soup is a big category within a deli that is growing, and we're not in that today. Is that something we can do? Pizza is another part of the deli that we're not in today. I would hope it's not a hard leap for everyone to imagine that Dan made amazing pizzas. He has great recipes that he made with his grandmother. That's something we can get into. But there are going to be things. Dan did not make sushi with his grandmother 50 years ago. And there are going to be things that we have to do to grow inorganically if we want to get into these categories. So that's a great way of understanding our vision for where we are today, but equally where we're going tomorrow. So another thing that sets us apart at MamaMancini's is we own the entire supply chain. So we literally own our own R&D, our own quality. We do all of our product development with Chef Chris and our R&D team. We do our own manufacturing. So we have a facility actually right behind me in East Rutherford, New Jersey. I get to walk the line every day. And we have another facility in Farmingdale, Long Island, which I also, of course, make sure that I get to go to. They take extraordinary good care of me and great food tasting. So we're doing all of our manufacturing by ourselves. And then we're doing our distribution. We actually have some of our own trucks, or we'll use a third party for logistics. But what this means and what this is really important to highlight is we get to own the entire end-to-end supply chain. We get to manage the quality the way we want, the grandma quality the way we want to do it. We get to be as agile as we want. I can make a phone call right now and we could be changing our production. We don't have to worry about a co-packer or a co-manufacturer to tell us when they have time to produce our products. We get to decide on our own. And then lastly, it helps with cost management, because we get to see it every day. We get to optimize our system every day, and every dollar we save is $1 that goes back into our pockets that we get to reinvest in trade programs, in marketing programs, in potentially future acquisitions. So I feel great with the product line that we have. I think that's great, without a doubt. I think that there's incredible opportunities to drive average items carried. We already have products, but there are opportunities for product innovation. And for me, for a guy that I used to be in the innovation space, I'm incredibly focused on making sure that it's incremental innovation. We're not just going to cannibalize our own products. So meatballs in a cup, which will be really, we've been testing. QVC is a great testing ground for us. It sells out every time we sell it. We knew it was the right thing to do, and we're going to be officially coming out full tilt at IDDBA in just a couple weeks in June, and you'll see the meatballs in a cup offering there. Why is it so special? It's incremental. It's an incremental occasion. Most of our products are meals or center plate. This is a snacking, an on-the-go snacking occasion. Second one, it's an incremental channel. So we are very successful in the club channel and the grocery and mass channels. We're not in C-store in a strong way today. This gets us into the convenience channel. And then the third one is it actually is a different consumer base. It averages down the average age of our consumers, because as we see the younger people, when we do our focus groups, are even more excited about the opportunity. So that's just a great example of some product innovation. Obviously, we just got to get into the consumer's mouth, because once it's there, they love it and they recommend it. Recent study we did there, literally 93% of consumers would say they would recommend, after trying the product, they would recommend it to their friends. I'm proud of QVC, I mentioned earlier, winning, we just had this a couple months back, the Emmys of food, and we won best meatball, best plant-based meatball, best sauce. We actually sell on QVC our secret recipe sauce. And then the best picture version, the best award you could get is most recommended brand, and we are proud to have won that. I think this is actually possibly our fourth year in a row that we have won that, third or fourth year in a row. So really, really special there. What's wonderful, and I have a long history in the food and beverage space, and there have been times in my career that I've had to sell and market and develop products that are a little nichey. What's wonderful about our product base, this is everybody in America. All 330 million people in America, all 225 households, there is a product in our offerings for them. If you love beef, we got it. You don't like beef but poultry, we got it. You don't like meat at all, we got salads. You don't like salads, we got sandwiches. You don't want sandwiches, we got olives. What's wonderful is this is a product for everybody, and you see that. The distribution we have across the US, we're a national company, our consumers. And again, I mentioned this earlier, I'm telling you, we just have to get it in people's hands, because once they try it, they don't leave. And that's what's really something I'm very proud of. Distribution channels, have shared with, hopefully, we have some returning folks that have heard me speak before. Really proud of how we're growing distribution. One of the things that's important to me is growing, I mentioned earlier, average items carried. Yes, it's wonderful to get into new customers, and we did that. We're very strategic on how we do that. If you look at the upper right-hand corner, new customers, we're trying to push more and even more concentration out to the Midwest and West. Roundy's is a big Midwest subsidiary of Kroger. Winco is on the West Coast. Hackney is a big C-store, convenience store distributor. I mentioned meatballs in a cup before. So we're very targeted in the new customers because we want to grow strong when we go in there. You see on the bottom right, I'm really proud, not just proud of the customers that have more than $1 million of sales. What's amazing is if I were to show you this exact slide last year, literally half these customers wouldn't even be on. So what's happening is our strategy is working. We're getting more items into the store, which is driving higher velocities, which is driving more sales. Publix, big customer of ours, long-standing customer of ours, another great example of getting more items carried in each section of the deli, which is wonderful. And they keep doing more. They keep asking for more, which we're very appreciative of. I spoke to you about in-house manufacturing with the acquisition of T&L back in December of 2021. Not only do we get an amazing company, amazing employees, amazing products, but we literally doubled our manufacturing footprint, and that was huge for us. So what we're looking for when we think about acquisitions is not just the brand or not just the product. I'm looking to build capabilities. I'm looking to build, extra credit. If anyone could come and give me a recommendation for a great company out in Arizona or Colorado to help us with our distribution overall, looking for building capabilities and really proud of our manufacturing. We just had our SQF audits, which I mentioned in our earnings call yesterday. This is food safety. This is the pinnacle of food safety. We just scored a 96 and a 98 in our 2 facilities. I mean, those are over the top scores, and I'm so proud of our teams in both facilities to get us such amazing results. Our top priority, right? 3 things: margin, margin, and margin. Why? Because margin is the rocket fuel for growth. It is the rocket fuel that's going to get us the trade that we rightfully should be deploying, the marketing that we should be doing, the future acquisitions that we should be looking at. And I'm so proud of what, again, in 8 short months, what we've already started to do, how we have worked to create a better pricing model, a costing model, so we know what to charge our consumers. We honestly just didn't have that to the level that we needed to before. Price pack architecture, what we sell to different customers, the different products. If I spoke to you earlier about if we're doing a just sharing, some customers want just bulk items, right? They just want some bulk meatballs. That price should be at a better price than if we're selling. Some consumers want all the work done for them. I mentioned to you earlier these meals for one that have a bed of pasta and meatballs. It has a bed of Roman rice and balsamic chicken. It has penne pasta with sausage and peppers. If we're doing all of that work, obviously we should be charging for that. And that's what maybe we might not have been doing in the past, but we are most certainly doing now. Managing commodities, I'm so proud of the team we're building. We just hired a chief procurement officer a few weeks back. We have a dedicated logistics manager, and we're already seeing those results. Before I got here in the second quarter of this year, we had about a 12% gross margin. Last quarter, my first quarter in Q3, we had a 26% gross margin. This quarter that just we announced yesterday had a 28% gross margin. It's all the things that you see on the left-hand side of the page that is getting a maniacal focus on margin. What gets measured gets improved. And I'm really proud of the team really stepping up and really delivering in such a short period of time. And this is where we can be long-term. I mentioned to you earlier, balancing organic and inorganic growth. I mentioned some of the examples. T&L Creative Salads and Olive Branch are 2 great examples of successful acquisitions for us. I was just looking when we shared with the bank our proposal for the it was a bank loan, acquisition loan, we look back, we've actually beat our plan that we share with the bank by 150%. 150%. That's how successful this acquisition has been. And there's even more to come. So really proud of that. Our vision to truly become this one-stop shop deli solution provider. $25 billion category, no market leader. We are building towards $1 billion organization. And that's what our aspiration is. From the legacy that we have with this authentic Italian heritage, building breadth and depth of distribution, being very specific on targeted incremental innovation, acquisition opportunities to really become this one-stop shop, and couldn't be prouder. Financial highlights, the numbers speak for themselves. I'm so proud. I brought in, as when I came in, a new CFO, Anthony Gruber's doing an amazing job. Peter Manch, our controller, is just absolutely incredible. And you see the results of this work on the page. Literally less than $1 million of cash last year to over $4 million this year. Retiring incredible amounts of debt. Super proud of the profit. And then you see our strong revenue growth. So I know it's working. We're going to continue on that clear, consistent, and compelling strategy. And just super proud of the team. I mentioned to you earlier, the team, really proud already. I spoke to you about Anthony, Steve, Matt Brown, the founder as well, and our chief operating officer. Everybody is stepping up. Everybody is stepping up to see and lead and to deliver results for you, for our fellow shareholders, and happy about that. So that's it. Again, really 3 things. 1, hopefully I've left you with, this is the category to be in. This is it. The macro trends of the deli, large, growing, what consumers are looking for. 2, this is the ship you want to bet on. MamaMancini's differentiated story, this authentic heritage story with Dan being able to help us accelerate the business. And then 3rd, possibly it will get boring, but having a clear, consistent, and compelling strategy that we're not moving off of. I think those 3 things together are going to really take us to the next level. And with that, just wanted to say again, Robert, thank you. Thank you to everybody for listening, and excited to speak with everyone in the future. Robert?
Very good. Thank you so much for your presentation there, Adam. Really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
A couple follow-ups, if you don't mind me asking. So you, on the slide on top priority being margin. I'd love to know, from what you can tell us, what are some of the additional steps that the company is looking to take in order to expand margins this year?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you're looking at a couple things. So I'd say actually 3 specific things. So the first one is, before you get to the margin side of the equation, you have to have price properly. And one thing that we've done really well, we were excited. We got almost all of our pricing in before the end of the fiscal year. Pricing is one, but we're looking at it every day. I think I mentioned to you, or I certainly mentioned in our earnings call, that we're focusing on literally weekly order profitability, monthly customer level profitability. So the first thing is getting the pricing right, really important. Second thing is obviously the COGS. Matt is doing an incredible job in the plant. I mentioned to you our new chief procurement officer. I'm already getting to see the results. She's been here only a few weeks, and I'm already literally seeing the results of what she's able to do. She's been doing this for a really long time. So getting the right raw materials. We're a big commodity business, right? Think chicken, think ground beef, think eggs, think cheese. So I think that second piece around our commodities and our raw materials are helping us. And then the third and last one that I speak to you about is the labor and even the logistics. So logistics, I spoke to you at last quarter in Q3, we improved freight by 200 basis points. Literally, before I got here, we would ship 2 trucks, half empty, to the same store on the same day. Now, with a dedicated logistics manager, we have fewer trucks, but they're all full. So what's happening is it literally reduces our freight costs by doing that. That's another, a third area that I'm really proud of. And you're going to see, you know, the the COGS costs drip off, right? Like when you're yeah. So that's where I think we're going to do it.
Absolutely. You know, I've interviewed MamaMancini's for many years now. You know, we were joking offline how, you know, I would interview Carl, you know, many times as well. You know, and I'm recalling from my last conversation with Carl, you know, the company had to, you know, I mean, everybody was dealing with supply chain issues, right?
Yep.
I remember there was a chicken issue as well on the raw material side. So coming out of all of that the company experienced, you know, what were some of the steps in order to come out of some of that? And then maybe what are some of the actions that are being taken moving forward in order to make sure some of those issues don't happen again, the quality control, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, and hats off to my predecessor for building a $100 million company. Really amazing what he was able to accomplish, and a well-deserved retirement. You know, I think there are a couple ones, and I think I actually spoke to it. I think the first one that I think we'd all agree, we have to be more responsive on pricing. So we were actually last year, we were well below um, the pricing relative, right? So food and beverage pricing inflation was about 13%. We did not meet that number. That meant we fell behind. That was because I just don't think we were responsive enough. That was the first thing when I came in here. We priced everywhere, and it all worked. Like honestly, I've been in the food business for a long time. Having to go to a customer and ask for a price increase, there is nothing more painful than that. We got I think almost every single price increase was accepted. Some customers actually said, I'm surprised you took that long. Like, I'm surprised you didn't ask earlier. So the first thing is, I mentioned to you earlier, we look every single week at pricing. That's number one. I think the second one is we just hired this chief procurement officer. This is not a spectator sport. This business is not a spectator sport. You have to be proactive. We have already someone looking at it for a full-time job. I mentioned to you earlier the logistics. We just didn't have the capabilities. I really see my job as the CEO to not do every piece of work, to build the team that's going to do great work and build capabilities. That is what we're doing proactively, such that we don't know what's going to happen, right? We can't control commodity prices, but we are absolutely 1000% prepared if it does happen. And even if it doesn't, we're already one step ahead thinking about how do I drive down costs, even if I don't quote unquote need to. I'm doing it every single day. So hopefully that's helpful.
Absolutely. So two more questions for you. And, you know, you mentioned, you know, we talked about Carl, very well-deserved retirement. You know, he's very well-deserved. And, you know, I wanted to ask you, you know, as coming into this opportunity, how does MamaMancini's as an opportunity relate to some of the experiences that you had at some of your previous jobs that you're holding?
Yeah, no, I'm so lucky. I mean, full stop. Two healthy boys, an amazing wife, but amazing, also just amazing experiences. And I've been in the food space now for, I don't know, 20 years. And I've gotten to do everything. I've literally I've worked for big companies. I worked for, you know, brands like Oreo and Ritz crackers. I've gotten to work with smaller brands, whether I was a management consultant. Actually, one of the last responsibilities I had at Mondelez was to help lead our venture businesses. So these were the smaller businesses like Tate's Bake Shop or Hugh Chocolate or Perfect Snacks that when I first started working with Hugh, I think it was single-digit $1 million business. The MamaMancini's is huge compared to what Hugh was when I first started. So the ability to work with different size companies in different phases of development was really helpful for me. I've gotten to see it all. Also, I've been very lucky, or clearly no one loves me, but every couple of years I got to be in a different function. I've literally been on the supply chain leadership team, the marketing leadership team, finance leadership team. I got to be in help lead our M&A. So the ability to work across functions and across sizes of business or how they've evolved, I think has really put me in a good place to really empathize with every situation and be able to help the team, right? Again, I'm a player coach. My job is to help the team roll up my sleeves. When I go to Farmingdale or here, I'm literally the guy. I'll go and I'll throw boxes. I'll put boxes into the truck. I'll do route rides. I will literally work the lines. It's because it's who I am. I love this business. And the more I understand our employees, the better I am as a leader.
Absolutely. All right. So my final question then for you here, from what you can tell us, and you've alluded to it in your presentation, but maybe get the full picture here. What would you say are some of the company's value drivers now for 2023?
I think there are a couple ones. I think the first one that I'm most excited about, because now that I think we've fixed a lot of the foundation of the business, I mentioned to you finance with bringing Anthony and Peter in, helping with the operations with bringing in Jocelina, our procurement lead, and logistics. Now I could start to really kick up our sales and marketing. We have a great sales and marketing team, but significantly understaffed. There's more that we need to do. Looking at how we do trade promotion strategies, how we do direct to consumer and online work, making sure that our West Coast sales capabilities are as strong as our East Coast, which is amazing. I think the biggest value driver for us now is really accelerating that sales and marketing capability. I think very specifically, we have great products now. We don't need new products. It's about cross-selling the products that we're in. We have great relationships from our legacy Mama's business of selling sausage and peppers and meatloaf and the like. Let's sell the chicken now. Let's sell the sandwiches. Likewise, we've been really successful on our legacy T&L creative salads business that we normally just sold the salads to. Hey, did you try these new stuffed meatballs? Have you tried these new items that have these meals for one that you could have this, these wonderful products with pastas and everything? And it's working. We're selling it in too. So the opportunity to cross-sell, we have great relationships, cross-sell the various products we have is probably the number one value driver for us in the year ahead.
Very good. All right. Well, with that, Adam, where can everybody here listening and watching go and find more information on MamaMancini's?
Yeah, please. MamaMancini's.com. You said ticker MMMB. And I'm always available. Reach out to Luke Zimmerman, our IR lead, and he'll find me. So thank you guys so much for listening.
Very good. Thank you, Adam. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Robert. Cheers.